If you're the type of person that is always looking for ways to increase your productivity or do things faster or do things better or smarter, then the tips I'm going to give you in this video will help you. Number one, and the most important one, if you want to be more productive, drink a lot of coffee all the time. Every day, all the time. I drink about 23 cups of coffee a day. Not so much, but I get a lot done. It's great. Coffee is great. It's amazing. But I'm actually going to give you 5 real tips for productivity that have helped me a lot over the years. And even if you start using one of them this week, you should start seeing a difference in how much you're able to get done and how good you feel about what you've accomplished for that day. Tip number 1 to increase your productivity is to do something called batching. Now this is where you do exactly what it sounds like. You put everything that's related to a specific task together and you block it out to do it at one time during the day. And so for example, answering emails. A lot of people, especially because we have email access on our phone, sometimes we tend to just randomly answer emails all day long as they come in, especially if your notifications are on. But batching in the email example would be something like you turn off your notifications and you set a specific time during the day, maybe like a 1-hour window, where that is your time to check and answer your emails. Now you can apply this to anything, and you should actually apply this to anything. So when you make your to-do list for the day, everything should be in batches and everything should be on there. So even things like playing with your kids or relaxing, you have to actually block out those time slots as well, so you can make sure you fit in things that are not work related. So you really want to batch everything, and this could be work projects, gardening, exercising, again, playing with your kids. It could be time with your spouse or your boyfriend or girlfriend. Even things like Netflix and chill. So make sure everything is batched, and this way what happens is you'll be much more productive in those sessions where you're doing that one particular thing. So for example, the time that you have set aside to hang out with your kids, you don't have your laptop with you. You're not doing that in your home office if you work from home. This is my current home office, by the way. The weather is finally nice. So you really want to segregate everything. And so if your time with your kids has no interruptions like email or work calls, then you'll end up feeling much more satisfied that you spent that time with your kids. The opposite is also true. So when you have that time blocked out for your work projects, you don't let anything else interfere with that time, which means that you need to turn your phone on airplane mode usually. The most productive I've ever been when working is when I turn my phone on airplane mode. And if you try this, just try it a couple times. Just try it one time this week, and drop a comment below after you try it, even if it's for 10 minutes, and let me know how much more productive you were. Because with the times that I forget to turn on airplane mode, and I even think to myself, I just won't respond. I won't even look at my phone. It doesn't work. We're human. We're constantly distracted. Sometimes we want distractions because the things we're working on are sometimes complicated or difficult. So don't even give yourself the chance to interrupt the schedule that you've made for yourself. Turn your airplane mode on. Don't have your phone with you when you're with your kids. If it's time to chill on your schedule, then chill. The second tip I have for you is to prep your batch areas so that you can jump right in when it's time to do that. So as an example, I work from home, and I know a lot of people work from home now, which is already by itself much more productive, or it should be anyway, because you don't have the commute, you don't necessarily have to get all dressed up like you normally would. There's a lot of time saving in there. Now, yes, at the same time, is it easy to get distracted with all the things at home? Yes, but if you can just put some simple things in place, like what we're talking about, you should be much more productive by default. Now, to take it to the next level, when you're working from home, you want to be able to prep your batch areas so that you can just start working right away. And what I mean by that is, so if you're like me, if the house is a mess, or if the area that I'm going to work in is messy, I cannot work. My brain functions in the way that my surroundings do. So if my surroundings are messy and unorganized, my brain all of a sudden doesn't know how to work. So what I do, I make sure that everything is organized, clean, and ready to go for me to jump into work. What I also recommend is that you hire somebody to help you do this if it's too much work for you. Okay, even if it's somebody that comes in once or twice a week to clean up the house or to prep your batch areas, that will help you dramatically. Which brings me to point number 3. This is something that is not very easy to do, and it will take a little bit of thought process on your part, but once you start trying it, you'll see how much more productive you become, and that is to outsource. Outsourcing is an art, and the better you can become at it, the more convenient your life is going to be. Now, you want to outsource things that, number 1, just take up too much of your time, and number 2, that somebody else specializes in, but you are just okay at doing. So if it meets both of these criterias, you want to consider outsourcing it. This could be things like beauty, cleaning, and simple admin tasks for your work that, again, take up a lot of your time. You're not amazing at them. Somebody else might be able to do them faster at a low fee, and it would free up a lot of your time. So start by outsourcing one thing, okay? There's a lot of websites where you can find freelancers. There's, of course, you can hire a cleaning company, you can outsource your beauty, you can outsource your self-care needs. Start doing it and see the difference in how much more free time you have to dedicate to other things that you are really good at or you like spending your time on. The 4th tip I have for you is this. When you make your to-do list for the day, I want you to only put 3 things on it. 3. That's it. And the reason is, I want you to think about this. If you're a list person, which you probably are if you're watching this video on productivity, right? How many times do you make your to-do list for the day and you look at it and there's like 10 things, maybe more on there? Really, how many times, right? That's normal. We all think that we can do more than we can actually do, that we have more time than we actually have. We all think that we can eat more than we actually can. That's why we fill up our plates like a ridiculous amount. So make your life easier and only put 3 things on your to-do list. Now, what this is going to do is a couple things. Number 1, it is going to force you to prioritize what is really crucial. And that's a great thing, right? Because that's going to help you say no to a lot of things, or figure out, okay, you know what? I've had this thing on my to-do list forever. How important is it really if I haven't done it for 3 months? Let me just not do it, okay? So look at your to-do list and think about, what do you have on there that you're never going to do? You have no interest in doing it. It's just kind of been on there forever. Forget it. You don't need to do it. Cross it out. Feels good to cross it out, right? Cross it out. The second thing that's going to do is it's going to encourage you to start outsourcing more as well, because there's always going to be times where we have more than 3 things that we really want to accomplish that day. But again, if you can identify the ones that are probably going to be done faster or for a low fee by somebody else and it takes up a lot of your time, get somebody else to do it. It doesn't even have to be on your to-do list for that day, but it's getting done. And the last tip I have for you is to combine 2 activities that are on your to-do list that you can actually do at the same time. And the simplest example I have for you is, let's say you have a relaxing time on your list, and then you also have working out. Well, if you want, and sometimes I really like to do this because it's just, for me, it makes a lot of sense. I like to work out while I'm watching Netflix, or while, I guess working out and relaxing doesn't really make sense, but if I'm going to be watching TV, then I like to work out for even 10 minutes, because why not? That means I don't need to take another 10 minutes out of my day to work out and be doing nothing. Or I can work out and listen to an audiobook, or learn a new language, or practice something that I've been working on. So anything that makes sense to combine them, and that will tick off 2 things off your to-do list. So you can start using these tips to increase your productivity. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do that now. And in order to keep these videos free like they are now, it would really help me if you share them with somebody that you think might like these tips or some of my other videos. See you next time.